Ladies and gentlemen, the Dawning kinda had a bumpy start on launch day. Hopefully you've got everything straightened out and the cookie baking has begun. One thing I was very happy to see in this year's event though, was we actually have some weapons to chase. And while Glacioclasm is the only brand new weapon, both the Avalanche Heavy Machine Gun and the Cold Front Submachine Gun, which we're looking at today, have been brought back with updated power levels and a new perk pool. And I was also very happy to see that we can't just pull the best roll from collections like we could in Festival of the Lost this year. We actually get to pursue these weapons. And if you've been around the channel for a little while, you might be saying, Ironworker, you're a fusion rifle guy. Where's the Glacioclasm review at? Well, I am a fusion rifle guy, but I'm also kind of a fusion rifle snob. I have discerning taste, and I at least want to find a roll that really does the weapon justice. Otherwise, I feel like I'd be wasting my breath. But Cold Front, I did find a very nice roll on. And when looking at the weapon as a whole, I think Cold Front deserves to be talked about. Maybe more so for PvP, but there is something that makes it special in PvE as well. Now real quick, if you haven't dove into the Dawning yet, you can get these guns from the packages received after turning in cookies to an NPC. Now there's only a chance that you're going to get one of these packages, but I do believe that each package will reward you one of the 3 guns. So if you're hunting for a specific roll, you better get the baking. And if at any point during the course of this video, if you do find it useful, helpful, or enjoyable, liking and subscribing are 2 completely free and easy ways to support the content and the Ironworker Gaming channel, and both are greatly appreciated. But with that, let's get into the review with a look at Cold Front's stats and perks. Cold Front is a legendary kinetic submachine gun shooting at 720 rounds per minute with a base 26 rounds in the magazine. This is a member of the aggressive frame archetype, so high damage, high recoil. Short, sweet, and accurate description there. As for the stats, I'll pull in the base values from Light.gg so we can have a look at some solid numbers. Let's start with the good. The range and handling are pretty decent. And now that we got the good out of the way, this SMG archetype does have pretty slow reload speeds. Cold Front is no exception. The stability on this thing is absolutely abysmal. It's not the lowest of any SMG. The now sunset Crucible SMG Harsh Truce has a 15 in stability, but Cold Front's 16 is leagues below all other SMGs. It's really bad. Pulling in the hidden stats, we have an aim assist value of 29, which is also extremely poor. We have a bounce intensity of 8 and a recoil direction that will tend to the left. So we've got some holes to plug here, mainly in stability. And luckily, we do have some perks that can help us out. For the barrel, I'm opting to use small bore for a +7 to range and stability. For the magazine, I'm using accurized rounds for another 10 to the range stat. In perk column 1, this one's a lifesaver. Dynamic sway reduction, increasing accuracy and stability as you lay on the trigger. And in perk column 2, I have Rampage, giving a 10% damage increase on a kill stacking up to 3 times. This kinda makes it like a poor man's Huckleberry. Here's your full and newly updated perk set on screen, and if you'd like me to make some suggestions, I think small bore is the way to go for the barrel, but polygonal rifling could help out a great deal also. For the magazine, I wouldn't accept anything except accurized rounds or steady rounds. In perk column 1, we do find the newly introduced surplus perk, which I normally would be more than happy to take, but given this weapon's extreme stability issues, I think dynamic sway reduction is a must-have. In perk column 2, we have some pretty good options. Thresh is great if you're looking to use this gun mainly in PvE. The new One for All perk could be a little bit situational, but might be interesting on this weapon. Unrelenting can boost your survivability. Surrounded, here again, is situational, but can be nice on close range weaponry. Plus, we also have Dragonfly. More on that in a minute. Personally though, I'm sticking with Rampage. It's a no brain cells required damage buff that's effective in both PvP and PvE. And before we dive into the Crucible, we do have a few things to touch on in the PvE environments. And we'll get into those now. Alright, this section is going to be brief, since it's a legendary primary weapon, and I can only really talk so much about a weapon that's built for ad clearing. If you are looking for a legendary, non-sunset, kinetic, aggressive frame submachine gun, look no further, this is the only one. But being a kinetic weapon, it does open up your energy slot to use a slightly wider variety of special weapons. The hard-hitting nature of this archetype can make Thresh a very nice perk for increasing your super regen. Rampage is always nice to see, giving you the ability to accumulate a few stacks and then chunk down major targets' health bars pretty quickly. And a perk that I kinda glanced over in the previous section was Dragonfly. And all credit for this information here goes to Miss Blitz. She just recently posted a video and was the first person that I saw showcasing how Cold Front could generate Warmind cells through the Dragonfly perk. Now, creating Warmind cells with Dragonfly is not out of the ordinary, but how many non-exotic kinetic weapons can you name that have Dragonfly available on them? Right? Now recently it's come to light that Bungie is aware that Dragonfly is on a kinetic weapon, and this was not intentional, so the dev team is currently trying to decide what to do here. The perk may be removed. But if you are a Warmind cell user, I definitely recommend checking out Miss Blitz's video. I'll have it linked in the top pinned comment, and if you see her down in the comments, be sure to thank her for this information. Now, there are a handful of drawbacks to cover with this weapon, and many of them are going to overlap with PvP. So rather than make you sit through them twice, I'm just going to save them for that section. But let's move into the Crucible now and start things off with the damage numbers. Alright, Cold Front and other aggressive frame SMGs will hit for 22 points of damage on a crit and 16 points of damage to the body. This gives us an optimal time to kill of 0.67 seconds by landing 9 crits, and a body shot time to kill of 1 second, requiring 13 shots landed. For the physical range on this roll, I'm hitting for full damage from 17 meters in. Once we step back to 18 meters, we start to see the damage fall off. Performance-wise, Cold Front is in a strange spot, but we'll start off with the good again. First, the time to kills are very strong. 0.67 seconds for an optimal time to kill is fast, and 1 second for a body shot time to kill is about the best you can ask for. This SMG also feels pretty agile and responsive, due to the respectable handling stat of 58. And with a little help from the barrel and magazine options I have on this one, the range stat is pushed up to a point where the shots fired feel reasonably accurate. Plus, we do have a pretty nice perk selection in column 2, so you kind of have the freedom to tailor this weapon to your playstyle. But all of these things do come at a cost. The aim assist value on this weapon is bad, so you're going to be getting very little help in landing your shots from the weapon itself. This kind of makes SMG targeting mods on your helmet a must to increase the weapon's usability. Next, the weapon's recoil, and my oh my is it rough. Even on PC, it can be difficult to manage. Take a look on screen, and this is kinda cool because you can see the stages that dynamic sway reduction kicks in at. Now, dynamic sway helps out with the stability, mainly negating some of the climb from the weapon, but man does this thing rip hard to the left. This kinda makes hitting that optimal time to kill of 0.67 seconds a pipe dream. I mean, every now and again it's probably gonna happen, but you're being asked for a 100% crit ratio. Given the stability and recoil of this weapon, that is a big ask. That's why I wouldn't even consider picking this weapon up for Crucible use without dynamic sway reduction. It really can help out with the consistency of Cold Front, and this weapon needs all the help it can get. Then we have a small magazine size of 26, and given the weapon's fire rate, you're gonna hose through these bullets really quickly. And given the bullets required to down an enemy player, you're only looking at 2 kills before a reload will be needed. And as we talked about earlier, that reload is pretty slow. And being that this is an SMG with a reasonably low optimal range, you're gonna need to play in a little bit tighter and be a little more aggressive with this thing. But at the same time, you're always gonna have to be thinking about putting yourself in a safe spot to reload your weapon. Obviously, SMG loader mods will help, but expect to be dipping into cover and reloading often. For the verdict, and I gotta say, I did have some pretty decent rounds using Cold Front, but it did take some work. With a focus on mindful gameplay and good situational awareness, Cold Front absolutely can do its thing. By wisely picking engagements and playing within Cold Front's optimal range, I was pretty efficient. Keep in mind though, I do have a pretty stellar roll on this one, but even with a strong roll, there's just not enough resources to fix all of this weapon's issues. So if you're looking for a recommendation, if you play on PC or just like this weapon archetype in general, if you find a good roll, I think it's worth trying out. If you play on console and you have not upgraded to the next gen platforms yet, the stability and recoil might be a nightmare to deal with. I would probably pass. But you don't have to take my word for it, try it out, see what you think for yourself. But if you did enjoy this video, please remember to leave it a like, and if you're not already, at least consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel to see more Destiny 2 content made by yours truly in the very near future. If you'd like to catch me live, I do occasionally stream on Twitch. You can head over there, look for Ironworker814, drop me a follow, and get notified whenever I hop on. To contact me, simply comment down below. I will be sure to get back to you. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this weapon review. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.